Minister of Finance, the Minister of ECYS spoke of the fact that there is a need to increase the budget for his ministry. The Minister of Tourism also echoed the same sentiment, basically saying that he needs more monies to be made available for him to execute the ministry, especially in the field of tourism. Where are you with the 2020 budget at this time? And do we foresee this budget being presented in a timely manner?
Good morning to my colleagues. Good morning, the press corps. Good morning, St. Martin. Thank you for that question, Stephen. I took notice of the press release of my colleague minister. I certainly understand where he's coming from if I look at the past debates in Parliament on the 2019 budget, where some members of Parliament had referred to lack of funding for the Ministry of Economic Affairs. I think in one of my speeches, I mentioned that there were funds made available for promoting St. Martin. I think 3 million plus guilders to do so. And other projects that the Ministry of Economic Affairs was supposed to undertake are in the planning and can be possibly financed by World Bank monies. So yes, in the 2020 budget, we will have to check together with the colleagues the possibilities of providing sufficient funds. But I must say that each ministry, of course, have their as their priority, especially in the rebuilding of St. Martin. The thing is that because of the financial constraints of the country, the Council of Ministers need to make a priority list in, not all the ministries can be a priority in the same fiscal year. So that needs to be determined. Ministry of General Affairs, Ministry of TIAT are probably the ones that will be having some priority in this coming budget. The wish list of the Minister of TIAT, that still needs to be discussed because that's the phase we are in right now, to refer to your second question. Before, I think 3 weeks ago, we approved the aanschrijving of the budget. That is the document that states these are the maximum amounts that are available for the ministry and the total amount of expenditures of the country. So now we are in the phase of each ministry filling in their preferred budget for this year. And that's an ongoing process. We had meetings, internal meetings between the ministries and the SGs and their controllers. The aim is to, again, submit the budget in a timely manner. But the process can be a very cumbersome process because we still have to go back and forth with the CFT. Because every step we are making, we are in contact with the CFT to see what the possibilities are. That is unfortunately how the situation is since 2010 and most certainly since the instruction of 2015. But the aim of the ministry and the government of St. Martin is to hand it in a timely manner. We know that September 1st by law is where it says that you need to submit your budget. But again, you have the time until November to do so as well. So yes, that is the status right now. We are filling in the gaps. We are filling in the priority list and the wish lists of each ministry. And as soon as that has been done, we can present the concept budget to the Council of Ministers once approved, and obtaining the approval of the CFT, it can go to the House of Parliament. So in essence, there is a concept budget already, but now we are fine-tuning between the ministries the wishes, the do's and the don'ts. That is the situation right now.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
They got us, it is the message reaching us pertaining to the housing situation in Colby. We do have a couple of concerns, and we would like to call upon all the authorities and stakeholders involved to really add some heart to the situation here. We are not professing to have all the facts, but what we are most interested in is looking after the well-being, especially of the children that are caught in the middle of this situation. First of all, we're not condoning the fact that the parents or whoever broke into these homes and made them their dwelling for over or almost 2 years. But we also need to apply, and be humane where this is concerned. First of all, our question to the Housing Foundation, the St. Martin Housing Development Foundation. Are you all on schedule in terms of the construction of new social housing on the island? Because giving us the story year after year that there's a long list and not adding homes to the situation, it's not easing the problem that we're having with social housing. That's one. It's not even affecting the prices, as being on the market, and we are not alleviating anything, but solely what we are doing is just remaining within a status quo situation where social housings are concerned. We are very concerned also because political parties ran campaign in the last election and over the past decades, promising the people of St. Martin that they would have built 500 homes, social homes, and to this day, zeros was done. And I'm including all of those political parties that made those empty promises to the people of St. Martin. We also know that the government need to put more emphasis in, especially now we are talking about building back stronger and more resilient, and whatever funding that is there available, but there's very little being said about the investment towards social homes. And also no emphasis is being placed upon the budget and also upon the kingdom government to see to it that we realize social homes for the people that are in dire need of these situation here. The social home situation extends further than the eviction situation, because it's a matter of time before we see other situation like this repeat itself on the island. When are we going to develop the areas of Dutch Quarter and in Middle Region, and in K-Bay and in somewhat in St. Peter's? What about going over Cahill and those places, and in Colby? You understand me? Because if we set plan in constructing 150 homes and apartment and so in each one of these districts, we will be able to have some kind of a effect on the market, the housing market, and on pricing. You understand? So first of all, the housing foundation also have to come up with a plan in terms of the constructions of new homes, but also government need to have also a bigger plan and also seek funding where this is concerned. Since there's still some money available, make it a priority in getting a couple of homes built. And we are talking about exceeding the lousy 259 homes that the Dutch government said that they built. You understand? But let's get back now to the housing foundation that sought via the court to evict these folks that illegally occupy these homes. We want to ask also, yes, it is wrong, but once children are involved, were there any provision made for at least housing or at least finding solution? Because we're talking about families. We're not talking about that they had chicken raising in these homes or dogs in these homes, which are animal, and constitutionally they are protected by the Constitution. But what about now when we talk about families, whereby we talk about kids? Yes, nice to have a court ruling, but we'd like to also ask the judge, where's your heart? Because the question is not about the housing foundation that brought a report to the court, but the court itself is supposed to ask questions, because this is not animals that live in here or occupying it. This is a human being. You understand me? And we know the situation, the aftermath of the hurricane. So we know people are in dire need of homes, and we are not talking about where you're from, whatever. We're talking about there should be absolutely no discrimination. So that means whoever were occupying these homes, they are human beings. And if you're going to evict them, then I believe you should be able to provide at least a container for them to have some sort of roofing over their head, etc. Because we're talking here about human dignity. They're not, human dignity. And the government has an obligation in see to it that they're protected, that they are maintained, at least. That the very little that you have there, which is your dignity, and that not you're thrown out on the road by the strong arm of the law, you understand, just because procedures weren't followed correctly. But we're talking about everywhere. It could have been me, it could have been you yourself, it could have been Mr. Jezreel. Any one of us could have found ourselves in a situation like that. You could have lost a job, and we should stop questioning the situation, because many who had home could have paid for their home. Roof was gone because of the hurricane and lost their jobs. So what you would have done if you were in a situation like that? Okay, so we're not condoning it, but we're saying let us be humane, and if we can't help them temporarily, then because you will evict them today and those homes will stand empty tomorrow. And if it was in my case, I would have gone back in tomorrow again, if it was me. Because if I needed a home and I have no job or whatever have you, or would have sleep in the government administration building, period. You understand me? So I'm saying this: find solution for problems and don't create more problems. And government, you do have an obligation when it comes to protecting everyone which is in this society, but moreover when it comes to the elderly and when it comes to young people, to children. We just have not only a moral, but we are duty bound to protect children where this is concerned. So it is impossible that even with a judge order, and I believe that the judge ruling hasn't gone far enough in the sense that it was not properly investigated, because when it comes to eviction, you need to ask the question if there are children involved. And once there are children involved, also the economic situation, yes, especially these are social homes. This is not private party versus. These are social homes. You understand me? And the plain objective was to resolve situations since Lois. And if these homes, it is a disgrace if these homes are standing empty, you understand me? And irrespective of the situation we have, we could have tried to reach at the amicable situation with the owner, pending a solution, you understand? But we have human beings that occupy these homes.
Hey ma, how you doing? You busy?
I hear, just paying some bills, taking care of business, you know what it is?
I know, you're doing your online banking.
I don't have to stand in those long lines to pay bills. I can transfer when I want. I can check my account wherever. It's like the bank open 24/7. I even here checking the statement right now as we're talking. How's Miami?
Well, that's why I'm calling. I'm finishing up a few songs now, but I'm afraid that studio time might be more than I thought. And I was wondering if I could get some help with some funds, and I could pay you back as soon as I get back to St. Martin.
Let me check my account. How much you need?
I think 500 should be enough.
I can transfer it to you while online. Direct from me to you. No problem.
Great. Thank you so much, Ma. I'll get online with Viv now.
Alright, darling. You know who you're for?
I need to know who you're for.
Contact WIB today for your complete personal online banking experience. Available for all mobile devices. The Windward Islands Bank, now your online banking partner.
The enhancement of the Hurricane Readiness Guide on the government of St. Martin, the Customer Satisfaction Survey from the Public Service Center, updates on the private roof repair program by the National Recovery Program Bureau, update on the boundary issue regarding Oyster Pond, and public service announcement for the community on passports renewal and expiring dates, along with works to be released soon. The Department of Communications, so DCOM, has enhanced the Hurricane Readiness Guide on the government's website. The Hurricane Readiness Guide tab can be found at www.stmartingov.org/hurricane. It has information that the community can make use of when preparing for the hurricane season and critical information during and after a storm. The Hurricane Readiness Guide tab is a great communication resource that will assist persons in the community in becoming aware of the importance of hurricane preparedness and also being more involved and conscious of a hurricane and its possible effects. I commend DCOM for putting together this special website page with multiple tabs of relevant information on hurricane preparedness as part of its larger communication campaign for hurricane season 2019. The department is also providing information via its multimedia channels via the government website, the daily newspaper, the disaster prep app, the distribution of a hurricane tracking chart, and St. Martin Gov Radio 107.9 FM, keeping our community properly informed as the main objective is the main objective for these actions. The Hurricane Readiness Guide has 8 tabs with relevant information, and they are as follows: being prepared, so be prepared, list of shelters for 2019, storm preparations, staying safe, post-storm safety, the checklist, hurricane items maximum price list of goods, and the list of emergency numbers. The public is urged to go to the website at www.stmartingov.org/hurricane and explore its contents fully. It is important to be proactive in knowing what one has to do before and after a disaster strikes. The public can also download the Disaster Prep St. Martin app on the same Hurricane Readiness Guide page on the government website. The newly launched app is currently only for Android users. It has information on disaster and risk management, emergency numbers, ESF groups, and regular updates. Whether it is a hurricane or a fire, this app for residents and guests of St. Martin contains information about how to prepare and what to do during a disaster. Persons can also download a hurricane charting map that can be used to track the route of a hurricane. It also has information about the government disaster management organizational structure. The hurricane tracking chart will be free of charge, and it will be available in the government administration building at the reception desk.
Let's go back a little bit in the history of this International Day of Pensioners. This was a resolution of Parlatino, and this was carried in the time of the Netherlands Antilles by the parliamentarians of the Netherlands Antilles. And it was declared 25th of July to be the Day of the Pensioners. In Curacao, they maintained this tradition. And today, for instance, the pensioners all in Curacao are commemorating Pensioners Day. Here in St. Martin, our politicians didn't take this commemoration seriously. We have been lobbying in the past when we had seniors like the former Prime Minister Marlin as Prime Minister. And we told them, no better men and people to also declare this Day of the Pensioners in St. Martin. But they didn't do it. We don't know why not. We would like to know when they are going to recognize the pensioners in St. Martin. We hope that by bringing up this topic today, everybody will understand you cannot leave pensioners out of the equation. They have contributed to the build-up of this country, the Netherlands Antilles. They have built up this territory, which now has been called Country of St. Martin. And you have to recognize that the contribution that they have been given must be rewarded one way or the other. So by providing a day of commemoration about pensioners, the seniors, that will give everybody the opportunity to reflect. Let us give a message now to the younger generation. We, from the seniors generation, we have been experiencing when we were younger that we did not put so much attention to what will be happening after our retirement. It's now that we are in the retirement phase, we experience that seniors and pensioners are not being treated equal in the Kingdom of the Netherlands. What are you all doing for your old age? Will you get the same treatment as we get? Will you end up in the same situation as we end up? If you don't reflect, and if we don't provide you with the opportunity to dialogue with us for you to have this experience, you will end up in the same old situation as we are experiencing. So we would like to present this opportunity for you all to start to reflect. And we from the Seniors and Pensioners Association are willing to provide you with our experiences and with our suggestions to improve the situation for seniors and pensioners in the most recent future. So not to wait too long, not to have it for over 20 years or so. We want for you all and for they that are still alive to have more and better benefits as seniors and pensioners in this society.